Hello everyone, welcome to Chemazone Complete Chemistry. So let us see what is our today's topic. So our today's topic is atoms. What are atoms? What is the basic structure of atom? What are the different subatomic particles? What are their charges? And all these things we are going to see in this video. So have you ever thought of that the things that you use in your day-to-day life every day, like for example the books that you read every day, or for that matter the clothes that you wear every day, or the dining table or the study table that you use for studying and having lunch or dinner, or a television screen or a mobile screen that you use every day? What are all these things made up of? So the answer is atoms. All these things that you are seeing right now are made up of the very basic and the very fundamental unit called as atom. So let us understand with a simple example how these things are made up of atoms. So let's say for example a book. Book is made up of paper. What is paper made up of? Paper is in turn made up of cellulose fiber. What is this cellulose fiber made up of? Cellulose fiber is made up of cellulose molecule. And this cellulose molecule is in turn made up of carbon atoms, right? And this carbon atom, we will see that it has subatomic particles like electrons, protons and neutrons. So in an atom there is a centrally positively charged core which is called as nucleus. So we will see that the nucleus again comprises of different smaller particles like neutrons and protons, and these neutrons and protons are in turn made up of something called as quarks, which we will be studying in much detail in the chapter of nuclear chemistry. So let us understand in another very important example that we use every day. So this picture that you can see is a crystal of this salt, common salt or the table salt that we use every day in our day-to-day food that you eat every day, that is sodium chloride. What is this crystal of salt made up of? It is made up of ions, that is sodium ions and chlorine ions or chloride ions. The purple atoms that you can see, the purple ions that you can see here are nothing but sodium ions, and the green ones that you can see, the larger ones, are nothing but chloride ions. So how are these ions formed? Ions are again formed by atoms. That is, the sodium atom loses one electron and that electron is gained by a chlorine atom. That's how we form sodium ion or cation, and the chloride ion or the anion. So this is how a sodium chloride crystal is made up of ions, which are in turn made up of atoms. So now let us understand how small is an atom. We all know that the size of an atom is very small, of the order of few Armstrongs. What is an Armstrong? That is 10 to the power of minus 10 meter, that is 1 Armstrong. So if the atom is so small, then how small will be the nucleus? So here you can see the football stadium. Assume that this football stadium to be the atom, and if you reduce the size of this football stadium to 1,000,000,000 times, or let's say you consider one small grain of sand on this stadium, and that would be the size of the nucleus. So now you can imagine how small a nucleus is in comparison to the structure of atom. So we will be studying in much detail what is the nucleus and the different reactions of the nucleus or the nuclear reactions that happens, and let us now understand what is the basic or the most fundamental structure of an atom. So here you can see is a picture of a carbon atom. So in any atom there is at the center or the core there is a positively charged nucleus which comprises of some other particles, that is the neutrons and the protons. We all know that the neutrons are neutral or does not have any charge, whereas the protons are positively charged. Whereas surrounding the nucleus in the fixed energy levels or orbits or shells, there are these negatively charged particles called as electrons revolving around the nucleus. So there is a positively charged core which is called the nucleus, which comprises of the protons and the neutrons, whereas the electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits or paths or shell. So here you can see there is this carbon atom which has got 6 electrons. You can see these red ones are the electrons, there are 6 of them. In the nucleus you can see there are 6 of neutrons and 6 protons. So we will later study what do we mean by atomic number and atomic mass number. So what do we mean by atomic number? Atomic number is nothing but the total number of protons present in an atom. We can also call it as number of protons or electrons, but electrons generally change while forming an atom. It loses or gains electrons. So generally we define atomic number as the total number of protons present in the nucleus of an atom. What do we mean by mass number? So mass number is the sum of the total mass of all the neutrons and all the protons present in the nucleus. So this is the basic structure of any atom that you will see. There is a nucleus, there are protons, there are neutrons, and there are electrons revolving around the nucleus. The important point to be noted here is that the number of electrons is always equal to the number of protons. That is the reason why an atom is overall electrically neutral. So here we come to the end of today's video. So there are a lot of questions unanswered till now, like where does an electron stay? Is this the real picture of an atom, or there is some other difference? What are atomic orbitals? What are the different shapes of the orbitals, like s, p, d, f orbital? How do we get the shape of orbitals? All these we will be seeing in the next video. Thank you so much.